Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Kate Boyd. I'm a professional pianist and I'm a professor of piano, and I created this channel to help you take your piano playing to the next level. Today's tutorial is for my viewers of all levels. I'm going to talk about a very important concept in playing the piano, and that is hand position. Now, I've talked about hand position before in terms of it being a fundamental component of good piano technique, where you need to develop a well-supported hand bridge, and I'm going to link to that video up there in the corner. But today I'm using the term hand position in the other way we pianists often talk about it, and that is to refer to the position of your hand on the keyboard. The idea is that as you move around the keyboard, there are going to be times when your hand is in essentially one place over a group of notes that you can play without moving your hand. A good example of a hand position is a 5-finger pattern, because your hand is over 5 notes and there's exactly one key under each finger. Another example of a hand position is a triad or chord, a 3-note chord, because your hand is over 5 notes but you're only playing 3 notes. A hand position can extend past the boundaries of just a 5-finger pattern, but it is by definition a placement of the hand that allows you to play multiple notes without moving up or down the keyboard into a new position. Moving between hand positions on the piano can be disorienting, and it takes some practice. If you're having problems looking down at your hands a lot when you read music, this is most likely because you are looking for the next hand position for your hand. The issue of hand positions is why methods books for beginning students tend to work on finger independence within one hand position and then slowly introduce new hand positions as you get more comfortable. And this is also why more advanced pieces tend to require more frequent hand position changes. Basically, because the piano has more than 10 keys, but you only have 10 fingers, you're going to be moving from one hand position to another as you play and move around the piano. Understanding how the hand moves between positions on the piano will help you improve your piano skills, because you'll start to notice patterns in the music and be able to group notes, essentially thinking in terms of handfuls of notes rather than each individual note as it comes. This, in turn, will improve your accuracy, and it'll also help you choose fingering more easily. In this video, I'm going to go over several important aspects of hand position and what to consider. So let's get started. Let's first of all look at Schubert Opus 90 number 4. It's an impromptu, and it goes like this. All right, now what this consists of is a series of triads. The first group, second group, third group, fourth group, fifth group. And so I'm going to mark those in the score. There's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. And you'll see my hand, I'm playing one group, and then I'm moving to the new hand position. Then I'm moving to another hand position, another hand position. So what I can do to block that and practice each hand position is just play the notes together. So first group, and then next group, third group, fourth group, fifth group. If I practice that and moving quickly to the next hand position, then I'll be in really good shape to play it fast, because all I'm doing is playing one hand position after another. Anytime you find chords or triads in your music, look for the hand position and the place where the thumb kind of forms the base of a 5-finger pattern or a triad, and block it. Play all the notes together. I'm going to show you another example of a place to apply blocking. This is the Paradisi Toccata, and it's quite charming. It goes, etc. The notes are a bit different than in the Schubert example I just did. It's pairs of notes. We have these two notes, these two notes. So it's easy to kind of think of them 2 notes at a time. However, if you look at the hand positions, see how my hand is forming that triad. So that is actually one block, one group. Another one here. That's going to be one group. But then the second finger is going to go on the B. Those 5 notes are one block. So it goes. And then the left hand can also be blocked. this is one group here. So I can practice playing and then pretty fast with the correct fingering. And then left hand. And so that's how you can practice your blocking. What blocking also does is it helps prevent you from thinking of each individual note one at a time, but it helps you to kind of think in groups or handfuls of notes. And it makes the learning process so much more efficient. A quick aside about this Paradisi Toccata, if you're playing it, you're going to use rotation because the notes go back and forth. I start on the A. I talk a lot about rotation on this channel. So left, right, left, right, left, right. So the whole thing is going to be back and forth, a lot of rotation in there to help make it easier. Another important thing about blocking and moving between hand positions is to always prepare ahead and move very swiftly from one hand position to the next. An example here is Rachmaninoff G minor Prelude, Opus 23, number 5. When I play this, I'm moving very, very quickly in the left hand. I'm playing the left hand, and then I'm immediately releasing to the next. And then immediately after that, I'm releasing that direction. See how I'm doing that in my hand? Watch my hands move, especially my left hand. When you prepare for a note, release in the direction of the next note. Don't release straight up in the air and then go. So for example, I'm not going to go up and then over, and then up and then over, and then up and over. Instead, I'm releasing in a kind of elliptical manner. I'm releasing to the right, and then I'm releasing to the left. So watch my hands as I play it. So I'm getting over the notes before I play them. And that's how you can prevent excessive wrong notes as well, because you want to be over a note before you play it. You don't want to just kind of get there, you know, you have to play it. So the way to practice that is to play this way and then silently prepare the next note, kind of like you're pouncing like a cat, and then move, and then move. And sometimes if you don't know it, or if it's new, you're going to be searching. It looks like this if you search. Watch my left hand. Watch my left hand. When you're doing this kind of thing on the keys, doing that kind of thing, that means you don't really know where to go. So you got to practice going multiple times and going straight to where you need to go. Now I'm going to show you an example of both of these things that I was talking about, preparing early and moving according to hand position, using Grieg's Wedding Day at Troldhaugen. So here is the way it starts. In the left hand, there's tons of back and forth. And it's easy for that to not be accurate. So what you need to practice is moving from one hand position to the next, just like we were doing in the Rachmaninoff. Now what complicates it, I'm looking at these measures right here. What complicates it is that as I'm moving the left hand up, the right hand is playing. So I have to practice, and then on this note here, I need to move the left hand. So practice, watch my left hand as I play, move. So that already by the time I get to here, I moved, and then I moved down on that note too. So it looks like this. You can see I'm moving, I'm releasing in the direction of the next note, and I'm moving as my right hand plays. So practicing coordinating the movement of one hand when the other hand is playing will be very helpful. The other thing I want to talk about is hand position here. In the right hand here, we have That's essentially one hand position because the thumb is on the F sharp the whole entire time. And then we move to a new hand position here. So that is also one hand position. And because the right hand thumb is on D the whole time, I'm gonna use 2, 3, 4, 5 in the right hand. That helps dictate and show me what fingering to use. And then this is a new hand position. And the reason I know it is because the thumb moves. So when you're looking for hand position, look for what the thumb is doing and look for where the thumb moves. So those were some strategies for using the idea of hand position to help you improve your piano skills, whether you're at a beginning or an advanced level. Now, what were those strategies? Here are some takeaways from today's tutorial. Takeaway number 1, block triad patterns. Look for chords and triads and block them to practice moving between the hand positions. And blocking really just means that when you have notes that are under one hand position but they're not supposed to be played simultaneously, actually playing them simultaneously so that you can feel the hand position. Takeaway number 2, use the thumb's movement to identify your next hand position. Because the thumb is at the base of the hand, you can often determine the position of all the fingers in your hand by tracking when the thumb moves. Takeaway number 3, prepare your new hand position early. When you have a rest or a time between hand positions, get there early so you're over the notes ahead of time. Takeaway number 4, release in the direction of the next hand position. Instead of releasing straight up, release in an elliptical direction in the direction of where you're headed into your next hand position. Takeaway number 5, move swiftly between hand positions. I call that pouncing, like a cat. Practice moving very quickly straight to the next hand position without any hesitation, and eliminate any searching your fingers are doing by repeating that over and over. Thinking in terms of hand position and blocking chords is an important component of fingering because once you can identify your hand positions, that's going to help you be able to make more intuitive fingering decisions. Fingering is something that is very personal, and yet there are principles that you can use and apply to what you're working on. I made a whole video about piano fingering where I solved 10 different fingering situations in 10 minutes. You can check it out by clicking right up there. I'll see you in that video, and happy practicing.